Te Namaha. এরকম দিও না, পড়ে যাবে, ঠেলে দেবে, এটা ঝুলবে না বাইরে। লাগিয়ে দাও। So we are, this our class is getting little shorter and shorter and shorter. Of course, because of the fire, some this thing. But anyhow, this class, his fate is his fate. I do not know will it be continued or.
To be continued, Swamiji.
On Thursday, normally we have to continue, but I have stopped it Thursday because no one is accepting we two.
And Panchatattva.
And Panchatattva, of course.
Yeah.
So we thought that let us rather sleep a little more.
Well, I called Ashok and asked him to come with me, but he couldn't come. Maybe next week.
Next week. No, that will be good because now you are back. Then Ashok may join you because he cannot drive himself.
Well, I told him I'll drive everything.
Yeah, no, that will be easy for him. Mohan never came, but Mohan also says that that become now difficult for themselves to drive. Anyhow, so this today is also that our enthusiastic people are not much. You know, it is good for me though.
That's good.
But the question is that it's good if we can share the thoughts together. And this is also good, but I see one viewer. Who is the viewer? Maybe you, maybe the viewer.
No. I think Ashok
Or somebody. One viewer I find. So how happy I am that I have one viewer somewhere in the world listening to this.
They don't know what they are missing, Swami.
There are so many things. Now you do not know. YouTube and other things are so much available. People get saturated with this now.
Also, another monk is also quite becoming popular, Samarpanananda.
Samarpanananda, that's right.
Where is he? In Delhi? I don't think he's a Bengali Swami, but he speaks good also.
That's it. Yeah.
On the internet?
It should be YouTube.
Mohan sends all this to me.
Mohan.
No, I heard one with the Gita Prana. She gave a good lecture. I just thought for fun I would on YouTube. She was in New York. And she gave a good lecture.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yes,
I learned a few things.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's why it is nowadays. If you browse through, you get so much on the online.
So much.
And travel is become not so easy nowadays. So, say 1 hour to the road, system, things are changing nowadays, the way of.
But there's nothing like, the importance to be in the proximity.
We are old generation people, but the new generation people, they don't care. They will talk to you over texting. They don't see face to face and talk. Present generation style is becoming, if you are, I want to talk to you, I will send a text message from here to there. At first I was getting very irritated when someone in Hollywood itself in another room and sending me a text message. I was really mad with that. Email.
Yes.
My God, where we are going. And now we have to accept the reality of life, that no one sees face to face.
I don't have one. And I get knocks all the time. I have a landline. That's my telephone, at home. And I don't have a smartphone or can't do apps or anything. Only the computer, But I get knocks all the time. You need one. How do you live without one? You don't have a GPS. You don't have this.
Yeah, modern age is like that.
I don't even have a computer. I don't.
But the advantage of that, sometimes when my son Gautam and his dad and me are there, and Gautam and I want to talk, we don't want his dad to know. When we were texting each other, I tell him, Gautam, don't raise your voice, calm down, listen. Gautam said, Mom, I'm trying. And the dad doesn't know anything.
Okay. Okay.
I'm glad you rested a little bit, Maharaj. I was so worried.
Why?
You come from Canada.
Oh, that
Did
is
the
nothing.
Kali Puja.
What did I do in the whole plane? I dozed, so I slept.
But it's a stressful trip, you know.
A trip is not rest because I travel so much. Trip is no problem for me. It is a relaxation. Relaxation means you don't have to
Two Kali Pujas.
do anything, but you can when you go, then you have nothing to think about. Just you can.
6
But
hours.
unless you read something or you uh, have something to prepare for the lecture and that. Anyhow, so we are in the chapter number 7 on page 213, but we are on page 218 now, where this chapter starts with the statement, he's tired. So, are you very tired? So,
Oh, I'm meditating.
huh?
I just look tired. I'm actually meditating.
Oh, Baba, don't meditate now. Now keep your eyes open and be alert on the plane.
On the plane, okay.
On the plane you live, not in that plane. So, it's called a Pada Seva or the divine service. The glory of that was been mentioned here. That is the chapter we started. And we read that it is through the service of the feet of the Lord. On page 214, verse number 1, Prahlada said that all being, be they devas, asuras, men, jakshas, and gandharvas. Hey!
Hi, sorry I'm
Why?
late. I was buying the Sister Navidita book.
Oh!
Yeah. the new
You
one.
got a series.
Yeah, it's a big book.
How many volumes?
2 volumes.
His works are only in 2 volumes?
Yeah, the letters of Sister Navidita.
Uh-huh.
It's the new
Oh,
one
letters
they
of
had
Sister.
from India.
New
Yeah.
letters. See, one person can do how much in how many letters one has written.
I know.
Forget that is her talks and her other activities. They are not sitting idle, just they are writing.
That's right.
These
Do
2
what you
volumes
can
are
do.
letters only.
Do what you can do, right?
Yeah.
Is this Vivekananda's letters?
Sister Nivedita.
Am I in your way?
Oh, no,
You
you're
could
focused on-
Move one step.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me how, just a quick survey.
So we were gone for 4 nights, but we were very lucky because I had somewhere to go with my sister. We stayed with my sister in Glendale, and my parents were with me. The neighborhood is a mess, and all around is just a mess. When you go on the 101 freeway, the hills are just black on both sides.
And
And
breathing.
It's smoky, but I think the winds are blowing a lot of it away. And we thought we were out of danger. Like early this morning, they said you can go back to your house and all that stuff. But then 2 more fires started up again in areas they thought were done. So then you can't go in those areas, and people who said they could go back, then they had to leave again. So it's still kind of a mess, but getting better. It's 35% contained, which is much better than it was.
Where do you live? Where is your house?
Well, the house I'm building is in Westlake Village, and the apartment I'm renting is in Oak Park. So both of those areas were threatened.
Affected.
Both of them. But luckily, none of my stuff was hurt at all. None of it.
Now you have to take care of the purifier, more air purifier.
Yeah.
Even now we go to our Santa Barbara, we are using air purifier. Because the air becomes so smoky, it is impossible sometimes to breathe in. Hold
And
it.
the soot that's falling. The whole parking lot in Culver City, many miles away.
Yeah.
And our cars are all white stuff.
Here also we got in our Hollywood the first day.
Yeah.
But anyhow, what about Kalpana? What about our...
Calvin is fine. She's just staying home today to clean her
Good.
apartment because it was like smoky inside and everything. And Pavitra's
Pavitra.
fine. Pavitra never even got evacuated.
Evacuated.
She stayed
And-
where she was, but Kalpana went to Pavitra's house.
Yeah. And
So they were together, and Anne was with them, and Anne is doing great after her surgery. You know?
Acha,
She's
bah.
like, I'm not sick anymore. That I should have done this a long time ago, kind of thing, you know.
yeah,
Hi.
the world really.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
hey, Shiva, what are you doing, brother? Jai Ma.
Bringing home the harvest.
Ah.
Beautiful group of people.
So you should give one day some talk to
We
the
have to report to the shareholders.
shareholder.
I
yeah.
just wanted to greet you.
Jai
and
Ma,
Swami.
Jai Ma.
People want
You are just back now.
Yeah,
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
wow. Welcome.
From Toronto, back from Toronto.
Wow.
From the world really. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh.
Yeah, so the hardest thing I think for our community is because we had the mass shooting on Wednesday night.
That was the worst. And above that, this came
And then
simultaneously.
right after it, then we had the fires and everybody's back in.
I
So
said, did they
the
find
same day-
the shooter? What was the intention of the shooter? Because he was
he
killed.
was just crazy. He was an ex-Marine. They think he had mental illness from being in the Marines.
That is the excuse all the time we are getting now. Ex-Marine, and they can come and shoot anyone.
So
They know how to
yeah. And it's easy for military people to get guns,
Yeah, of course.
because they just say, "Oh, I'm a military person," and then they just give them the guns. And the one gun, the gun he had was legal, but the attachment to it was illegal.
No.
So it turned a regular weapon into an automatic
like
weapon.
a machine gun.
Yeah.
He pulls once and he could shoot 10 people.
Yeah.
So it's sad because everybody knows somebody who knows somebody or whatever.
That is a very friendly area, and that's,
Yeah, and that place, we've been to that place so many times, Borderline. We've had fundraisers there. They're just good people. Like, I was a little upset at first because the news kept saying the bar. They're at the bar. But it's not a bar. It's a family place. Yeah, they do serve alcohol, but it's definitely not a
yeah.
bar.
The newspaper told that it's a bar. That's why I saw that.
No, it's more a family restaurant with dancing and bands, live music, you know. And yeah, they have beer and wine, but you know.
One of the reporters said that this fellow texted life is boring. So
Yeah.
start shooting.
So it's just sad. Everybody's walking around depressed in our neighborhood.
That's
You go to the
true.
grocery store, everybody's like depressed.
The way he killed the policeman.
It was horrible. I mean,
What is the way of killing the policeman? Police was
the sheriff came in to try to stop him, and then he just shot the sheriff. So he shot the body, the guy at the door, the bouncer at the door, and the girl, the cashier, and then the sheriff came in to try to stop him, and he shot the sheriff, and he just started shooting, and it's just horrible. Yeah, policeman. Yeah, but then today I was at the grocery store getting some stuff for dinner, and there were fire department trucks from San Francisco and Mountain View all over the Bay Area, and they were using the bathroom and getting some supplies and stuff like that, and everybody in the grocery store was like, thank you, you know, and you guys are our heroes. And my sister and my mom and I, we made little, we took baggies and we put in it eye drops and throat lozenges and granola bars and things like that, you know, that they need. Lip balm, things like that. And we made a bunch of baggies
firefighters.
for the firefighters. You know, we took it to the fire department so that we feel like we're doing something, you know.
They
Yeah.
work 12 hours at a time.
They are doing what is unbelievable. What type of
And
tension
those
they
hoses are heavy.
And it's hot and they're dirty and sweaty and tired
And
Yeah.
in danger.
and I don't even know where they can all sleep, you know, because they just go to the other fire departments. They must be like on the floor on
True.
blankets or something.
Right.
It's tough.
So they will be doing good job. They're great karma, thinking for others, doing good to others, save others' lives, versus killing others.
A new one started
Today.
Place in a different place.
Actually, how is the Malibu temple?
I haven't heard.
I have heard that. I heard that Malibu temple
Evacuated.
totally evacuated.
I sent it to you.
But the latest news,
And I got a new one
uh,
that when they return, I have to send that to you too. It has a whole description of how they're going to have to re-bless the deities, do homa fire, circle the plate, because they have to get rid of the bad influence.
But it
of the
wasn't
temple,
hurt. It wasn't
you know.
destroyed.
anything,
The temple was not destroyed, but it was
The-
destroyed. The sanctity
oh,
of the
encircled, it is
They
encircled.
have special prayers and special kind of.
Yeah, last time also there was heavy fire, but temple was protected. Anyway, Swami.
But I will send that one to you.
Ah,
It describes.
Okay, so human demons are working, and mother, the divine mother Kali, saying, "Okay, you demons working, let me see, show my dance also little bit." Mother is very naughty in that sense.
Whereas this time Mahadurga came on horseback, and they say whenever she comes on horseback, she brings disaster.
Yeah, so that mother does. Almost all the year, either in the horse or in the, what you call,
Boat, that means flood.
flood,
Then in the swing, that means earthquake.
earthquake. So mother comes that way.
Something for every season.
Wow.
There are belief like that she comes in this way, so it will happen. When she goes this way, that will be good or bad. So this is happening every year. But this year it matches with that we can connect to, okay,
No, it's
mother.
in the almanac. Pandita.
Every year it is
Pandita.
happening this type of prediction. Since our birth childhood to this, we have maybe 40 times it has happened. But this time it appeared like this. Yes.
Well, I have a question. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, God spared me because my house is fine or whatever." But this is confusing to me because it's like I don't think God spared that person. I don't think God deliberately burnt that person's house down. I mean.
Yeah, but it's out of simple their faith. They say, "Oh, my God has saved me." That's a very emotional statement. But in Vedantic logic, there is no such thing. God is partial to you and not partial to other.
Right.
Whose house is burnt, God is very partial to destroy. That is not the thing. That's why it cannot be explained. This story don't bring God into equation. It will be in trouble. And no dualistic religion can explain why it is happening. Then God falls into trouble, and the leaders, the spiritual people who profess those religion, they had to give some support to God to stand. But come to Mother Kali, okay, it is all okay. Because Mother has two faces, benign face, blessing boon, another face, boom, bum, sword, cut, massacre, dance, destruction, dance. Two things go together. Okay, it's mother this way, that way, that's okay. No other demon is necessary, no one, good God, bad God does not mean that. That's why dualistic religion cannot explain. It is only Advaita Vedanta and its practical application is done through this Tantra or the mother worshipper. They can solve this problem, at least intellectually. It is not to say anything. We cannot say anything. Ramakrishna said it's mother's play. What can you say? How mother plays, who knows? In the home front. The children are there, mother is there. Sometimes mother is sweet, and sometimes mother get irritated. This, that. And to the poor people who are there, they may be terrible, destructive, dangerous. No. So it is very difficult to understand. This Sunday, that was our topic. But
Before you even knew.
but the point is that I cannot say that to a grieving person.
Right.
But at least if even it is said that way, it brings the spiritual energy in you. Then you need not have to be crying and weeping. Face that. That's all.
What is I feel there's some drawback in the way we look, because mother is always saving, mother is always giving blessing. We have wrong interpretation. If ethical path guides us and then we see that what we call, bad or something, how inside that negativity is so much empowering thing, So it's our way of.
Yeah, but we are human being. We have our normal human mind, and we really feel it is disaster. It is unbelievable. I cannot take this load. Now, suppose those who have lost their home. So she feel that what philosophy will work there.
But it's as you said, if you know good, you have to know bad. If you know hot, you have to know cold, etc., etc.
Right.
When you came to our house, when you first arrived, Maharaj, we lost our house in the earthquake.
Yeah.
But the way I looked at it and I was explaining that the house had to break because of the fault and all that, but in spite of that, we are all alive without any
Yeah.
scratches.
Devotee will say.
And what did your son say?
My son, when we were just running away from the, it was, and he looked back and everything is falling. And he said, we lost everything. I said, we have not lost anything. That's what I said.
So that's because of that is the way of looking at disaster. Something more would have happened. But it has happened up to this much. But there is no limit of that up to that much.
Yeah.
Someone may have saved life, someone's house is saved, someone's everything, someone's house, a part is destroyed, someone's fully burned, someone's car is gone, someone put into just alive, dead in the car. And somebody can say, oh, that is also not bad because carbon monoxide is so strong and it's just quick, and he does not understand when the burning is going on inside the car. Some of the people died not finding the road. They died in the car with the burnt, alive. But we think that, oh, it's burned and it's what a terrible pain. But they lose their sense much before they feel any pain.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
So these are the things. Now you can look this way, that way, but we cannot say anything to anybody who is suffering.
No, you can't really.
It is very difficult. No. And it is don't bring karma theory, don't bring anything.
Yeah.
Only say it has happened, it is a part of life and what can be done.
And one thing I noticed also, maybe it's because of Vedanta, is a lot of people have said, oh, well, thank goodness, I'm glad you didn't know anyone in the shootings who was killed. But to me, it doesn't matter if I know them or not. You know what I mean? It's all the same. I'm grieving just as much.
But it is the sensitivity of the person. At least those people, suppose how many things are going on in the world at this particular point of time. We do not know, so we just can live a normal life. Just suppose if I know that my sister is having something, however great you are, your emotional connection is more, you will feel the pain more. But we develop much more, then what will happen? With the much development, we can feel even not related to my blood.
Yeah.
That is the higher. You go move and move and move. There is no connection with you, but you feel still the greatest pain because that's a higher development or expansion of the heart, which is called the real spirituality. Anyhow, let us pray for the good of all, and mentally and mothers. It helps us, and also that prayer soothes their heart. I do not know physically it protects or not. It is mother's issue, but it is good for us.
It's not very consoling for people who are deep in suffering, but we can look at it from the point of view that you have renunciation. In this case, it's involuntary renunciation, so it's a form of viragya.
That's why it is positive attitude.
Face the ego. If you can think about, we are spirit, and that's where we want to identify, locate our identity. Get so tied up with all our material possessions and our attachments, and they're helping break them down. And then the suffering is coming from the sense of the attachment. The pain
these are all the philosophical side of it. And those who are matured and established in that level, they will think in this way. But suppose if I am a victim into it, that moment,
at that moment,
the ego and all these are so much associated with body, mind, emotions. So it's very difficult. Those who can do, they're Brahmagyanis. that they are Brahmogyanis. When the fire was set into the palace of Janaka, and Janaka was reported, and they were discussing with the sages about Brahman, Atman, etc. And then somebody reported. Then he said, oh, it is fire. Then what Janaka says? If the whole Mithila town, the capital, if the whole capital burns into ashes, what's that to me? At that point he can say, because he is a Brahmajnani par excellence. So that's why we have to quickly get into Brahmajnana. Then all can be easy. But we are not, because that's because of our situation. So we have to actually face all this.
Or like Nero, the King Nero is playing the violin when the whole room is burning.
That means what? That his mind was not there. Same thing. Nero absorbed in his own level in another consciousness, state of consciousness. When you are in that state of consciousness, you don't feel anything because you are not here. Our existence is where is our mind. We don't, physical body is not the question. We live where our mind is not the body is. So Nero's situation is true, but is a good example. Here Janaka was par excellence Brahmajnani in the knowledge of the Brahman. And here even he is so absorbed in the music, so there is no connection with the world at all. It's called Gandharva Loka. He was residing in the Gandharva Loka, not in this physical earth bhuma, in the earth plane. It was in another plane.
Who was that?
Nero,
Nero, the
Roman Emperor.
Oh, Nero. Was that elevated spiritually?
at least if he is totally oblivious of everything, what is ever happening, mind should be somewhere else. See, suppose someone gets totally drunk, such a drunk that he does not have any concept. So if the fire is there, he will not feel anything until it brings his body consciousness. Burning creates that body consciousness. Sometimes people are doing something inadvertently, how the fire starts. The mind was directed into some other thing, and it started at the point when it started, though it happened, but he or she is not aware of it. And if the very beginning it is aware, fire will not be so high.
Okay, so speaking of being aware, so was it, what night did we have our class? Monday night? Monday. So Monday we're in our group, and I was the first one there, and then one of the other guys came, and he's like, "Hey, how you been?" And I go,
Whoa.
"Haven't you seen the news?" Like, "No, I don't watch the news. What's happening?" I go, "You don't know about the shooting? What shooting? You don't know about the fire? What fire?" Who was
Ah.
that? Yeah, Stanton was the same, both of them.
No,
But don't you think it?
that is not the wisest thing, but
Yeah.
because you are not connected with anything. You are eating for yourself. You are sleeping for yourself,
Right.
but you don't know what
What
someone
mind
is sleeping or not eating.
Yeah.
So that's a different thing.
I mean, I understand that you don't want the
Ignorance. This is
negativity
called the
and all that.
ignorance is bliss.
Right.
Right.
That is, ignorance is
There
this
has
that
to
level.
be, there has to be a middle path.
That's
right?
why two people can ignore this. One who is below the level of human, whose mind is not awakened into that consciousness, and another who is beyond that. In between we are. Normal people we are. Yeah. Anyhow, Mother bless everyone. So, just to what we have read, just to run. This is the chapter of Padaseva, or divine service. So Prahlada said that it is true, verse 1, 214, just I will read the original Sanskrit meaning. It is through the service of the feet of the Lord that all being be they devas, gods, asuras, demons, men, human being, jakshas. Jakshas is those who protect the money. Gods and God, one type of god or demon, they are possessor, holder of the form of money. or Gandharvas, musicians or dancers attain to peace and happiness. This is our experience. Now Brahma and other devas, attracted by a desire for material gain, perform terrible austerities and penances for the attainment of me, the mistress of all forms of prosperity. But, O Lord, unless they are devoted to thy feet, they cannot win my favor as my heart has been offered unto thee. So it's saying the Mother Lakshmi, no, people get my blessings, but I cannot show blessings to others whose mind is not devoted to God. In the third verse on page 215, some great sages merge their minds in you, who you are the home of all beings, through concentration and attain to liberation. But there are others who, following the path of devotion exemplified by the great devotees like Narada, use the service of your feet as a boat to cross the ocean of samsara with utmost ease, as if it were a puddle made by a cup's hoop. That means this life, these problems are insignificant, those who have taken refuge in you. Fourth, O Lord, only those who have your grace, they obtain through devotion to your holy feet, can come to know the truth about your infinite greatness, not others who search for a long time and alone through the practice of yoga or philosophical reflection. Intellectually they can try, but it should be your grace. That means it's devotional book, it is emphasizing that side. 5 verse 216 page. Afraid of the serpent of death, man runs about, as it were, through numerous transmigrations in these and other spheres, seeking in vain for freedom from fear of death. O thou original being, having attained to your holy feet through some good fortune. How that good fortune came? Resulting from past auspicious karmas. He lies there in peace, and death leaves him alone and departs. That's the power of God's power, no? Who have taken refuge in God, even death does not come to touch that person. These are all utilizing the power of surrendering or serving the feet of the Lord. Sixth, therefore abandon worldly life, the domain of repeated births and deaths, and the source of passions, attachment, sorrow, anger, pride, desire, fear, misery, and worry, and seek refuge at the feet of the Lord, the domain of fearlessness. As the Prahlada, this is a message, good message for all of us, saying, therefore, abandon worldly life. That doesn't mean give up world. Does not mean that you don't live and eat and sleep. But worldliness is the question. Give up that worldliness and the domain of, because if we hang on to the worldliness, what happens? It brings repeated births and deaths. No? Again and again, fear comes out of. You have to born because you are holding on to something and you are trying to grab it, but it is missing. Again you try to hold, again you try to hold. That is the attachment, no? And then he says, then comes the death of sorrows of passions, attachments that brings sorrow, anger comes, pride, ego, desire, fear, misery, and worry. These are the negativities of holding on to be a worldly person. What is the benefit of becoming a worldly person? Worldly means the who is passionate about or tremendously attached to the world and world only, not knowing the truth, purpose, and mission of life. No, so that is actually living death. They live in and in death. Sorrow will come. If we know there is a higher entity, then we can rise above that. Fear may come, we can overcome the fear. Death may come, we can overcome the fear of death, knowing that, yes, this is not all. So something no higher. And if you have the by devotion, you feel the presence. Okay, what is happening? Whatever is happening for the good. If one can keep this conviction in the utter distress, see the condition of the mind of that person. he or she remains undisturbed. That is the gain. Fire is fire. Suppose a Brahmagyani or a Vedanta student standing there and experiencing the same trouble and things. The mind of that person is up above, so the suffering of that person is less, fear is less. And who have no background, totally terrible. And those who think that everything is here, that's why many people really, when the police people, that is evacuation order, the eviction order, or they compulsorily they say, look at the condition of the firefighters. We are increasing the trouble for them. How much? There is one incident in Santa Barbara. So she was asked to vacate. She said no. Only one lady said, I know. She has a palatial house. And at the middle of the night, when torrential mud is coming down, 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 and her room is getting up, 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 she has where to run? Where to run? It has entered this way, and you cannot go wherever you are going. It is coming up, up, up. What will you do? Running, running, running. And then some people from distance, they called. They said compulsory, they wanted to get her out. But no. Now see, what a terrible pressure on the firefighters. They, when they got the news, they bring helicopter, they put in to lift that person with the 4 dogs.
With 4 dogs.
Hot dogs also. So they have to airlift that lady to save the life. How many crews are working for only one, and they have lost their other duties in another place. So this is the point. But it is why they say, okay, it's my house. It will not happen. Let me see what happened. It is the attachment for that. Yes, we will have attachment. But when we understand that this is the critical situation coming, so we should cooperate with them who are actually trying to save our life. So, but because I am saying that situation, many cases happen like that. Why it is happening? She cannot do anything. Actually, what happened? The house was totally damaged, and the courtyard is full of mud up to this much. And actually, it is done. You cannot check that. But why you added another trouble and for yourself also? What a terrible death would be. Suppose you think that you are the mud rushing and the mud is flowing up, 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 and you are just getting like that. What will happen? You have no power there. So this is the question of our weakness. Maybe I would have done that also, my attachment. So attachment creates that type of. So this is the worldliness. We should live in the world, but not to be so worldly, to be more suffering more. And that trauma, afterwards she could not live alone. She always wanted to be with people. But she was living alone. And now she cannot. She's finding how, if it happens, trauma night, whenever night comes, or anything, it may come, it's anxiety. It increases. Therefore, abandon the worldly life and seek refuge at the feet of the Lord, the domain of all fearlessness. 7. Therefore, O Lord of all worlds, wise men with truth and discrimination and understanding, that is the Paramahamsas, they take shelter without any reservation at your holy feet, which is the seat of all bliss. Who take refuge in God, that they are sitting in blissfulness. Whatever happens, happens. Take your measure, not that you willfully be indulging into something to create your own trouble, but after your best effort, okay, God's grace, God, His will. There's only consoling point, not even if you don't care for God realization or anything. And this type of psychology gives a big support, realistic feeling. They are not afflicted by your great illusory power Maya, unlike those who depend on yoga and karma, with pride in their own power, fail to attain this spiritual samambanam, being overcome by the illusory power of your Maya. A Maya, he's saying, oh Lord, your Maya. By your Maya, you have given this attachment, attraction for this worldly thing, this type of intense thing. Being deluded by that, they cannot know how to hold on to your feet, where this Maya will have no effect.
Swami, we frequently see the phrase illusory power of Maya. Does that refer to women in gold, name and fame, attachment, things like that?
Whatever thing is separating you from God, that is Maya.
Thank you.
Anything, women and gold, man and lust, all this the same thing, category is the same. It is whatever is separating me from my divine nature, that is Maya. Swami Vivekananda said, I am speaking to you, this is Maya. Statement of fact. Whatever is happening, everything, good or bad.
Yeah, the greatest challenge for me was not the fire or worrying about our stuff or the inconvenience or being away from my desk or my computer. The biggest inconvenience for me was being around my sister and my mother the whole time. So that would happen no matter what other disaster was going on. But that was my challenge.
You could have come back here.
I was thinking of it.
No. Really.
I'm gonna escape to the temple.
Really. No. I actually thought of that. But when I come to know that you are your sisters, I will maybe good.
Yeah.
Anyhow. But it is really, you could have come back here.
It's good to know that.
Yeah. No,
my sister would have been mad at me if I did that. That would have been worse.
No, you go one day and then come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, life is funny,
Yeah, right. Yeah. And now 8th verse at the bottom of page 217. The task of those who seek to cross the ocean of samsara, rendered dangerous by the crocodiles constituted of the 6 passions. We are wanting to cross the ocean of the samsara. This world is always considered as ocean or river. And we want to cross this river to go to the other shore. Other shore means of the shore of realization. So, they are constituted and infested with, as you say, crocodiles and other things, as in the ocean, as in the river. So, he means similarly, here are 6 crocodiles-like thing, 6 crocodiles, 6 passions. 6 passions is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarja. Kama is the desire, krodha, anger, kama, krodha, lobha, greed, moha, delusion, moha, mada, pride, matsarja, jealousy. The 6 characteristic, negative characteristic, we are stuck. They are always eating us. Crocodile. They are trying to kill the soul. Our divine soul who is pure, they are always trying to kill that crocodile in the form of these 6 dangerous animals. And that's why you call animal instincts or animals. No? So dangerous by the crocodiles constituted of the 6 passions is very difficult indeed to cross, no? If it is undertaken without the help of Ishvara as the boat. If you don't take the boat, ferry, hold on and rise above the way ferry, and then otherwise you are swimming, there is always possibility. Yeah. There is a song of Kamala Kantare. There are 6 crocodiles of passion, etc. These 6. And Ramakrishna used to give this example. You are swimming in the world and all the crocodiles and all the animals are trying to attack you. But if you pour some turmeric powder all over your body, then they will not be able to touch you. There is a belief that if you do like that, the crocodiles don't touch you.
They don't like turmeric.
No.
And
Other animals.
What is the turmeric? What is the turmeric? Turmeric of discrimination, and love for God. What is the song I forgot? পাবে না তার গন্ধ পেলে ডুবদের মন কালি করের জলে হ্যাঁ রত্নাকর্ণা শূন্য কখন দু এক ডুবে ঢোব না মেলে then I forgot the line. So it says that there are 6 such dangerous animals constituted of 6 passions, in very difficult indeed if it is undertaken without the help of the. So you have to get support from the boat of the Lord. That is, hold at the feet of the Lord. That is the boat that can help. Therefore, resort to the boat of worship of Sri Hari, the Supreme Lord, and cross this ocean of misery which is so difficult to cross by any other means. So that much we read, but not the note. So I am quickly going through the note. Note says, this is in criticism of those doctrines of salvation which do not accept the idea of Supreme Ishvara or do not stress sufficiently his importance in the scheme of salvation. That means whatever you do, ultimately grace, ultimately his refuge, you take refuge. That is the ultimate point of Vedanta also, no?
Yeah.
Vedanta says you do your best, but all the last part, you need God's grace. Swami Turiyananda used to say, no? Mother. All the life say, I am Atman, I am Brahman, I don't care, this is ignorance. That is sadhana. Go on. But at that point you will find that there comes a time when really you do whatever you do, nothing matters. And then you take refuge in mother and mother. See, Totapuri, I am Brahman, I am Atman, all these things were there. When tremendous stomach pain came and no other solution, even going to commit suicide and could not get sufficient water, surrendered to mother. She went to mother. Ramakrishna sent him to mother, and mother then he had the vision of mother, totally transformed. No? So there is a last part. So he's saying that you can take all other means, but ultimately there will be a factor to take refuge in the name of the Lord.
So here it says, you won't cross the ocean of life through mere self-effort. And what I think that might mean is that you make your best efforts, but you're still going to be overwhelmed by your animal nature. So you have to kind of sublimate that by surrendering to God.
Yeah, no, but means that we all try to be trying our best, no? Still, how many times we fail? When we fail, then sometimes a point comes, probably it is not for me. This type of frustration in sadhaks, in the life of the spiritual seekers, it happened. That time, you don't go to depression. You know, yes, not by my own help, I want some assistance. That's why Guru comes in our picture. That's why the idea of God as Guru in our life, or God appears, gives instruction, or in another form, so many form, God comes in our life to give us boosting, to hold on. Some prop is necessary to hold on.
And the Gita says you can control your actions, so do your very best. You can't control the outcome. Trust Brahman to do the rest.
Right. And that is very much tested everywhere. No, see, the firefighters are doing their best.
Right.
Have there any control that they will control the fire? No. But if they don't do that, then what?
Then for sure.
Then you are not doing your duty. So our sadhana, spiritual sadhana is like that. They are trying their best. They are putting the helicopter and then giving the detergent to this, bringing water and pouring over there. All types of effort. And the rest, it is fire or it stops. So God sent. So in life also, in spiritual life, you do your practice, you do your meditation, japa, everything you do. That's why Holy Mother said, God is not like your a commodity that you purchase. You did 10,000 japa, then you will realize God. No, it may be, but it is not. It is you do your best, and it is grace of the Mother. So in our life, we have to come back to that conclusion. But that should not be just a mere word without our best effort. As Shiva says, that is the best effort. Shiva does. So, several schools of Buddhism, Sankhya and Yoga uphold such doctrine in which God and His grace have no place. Yes, because Buddhism, there is no position of God. They don't believe in God. And of course, the popular Buddhism, which is Tibetan Buddhism, is something different where you have gods and goddesses and everything. But when it goes to the Shunyavad or philosophy, there is no position of God. Ishvara, Ishvara Bhavat, what is the verse I forgot. Anyhow, and Buddhism, Sankhya does not believe in God. Yeah. That was Nirishar Sankhya. That Sankhya is said Nir Ishwar. There is no position of Ishvara in that philosophy of Sankhya. Purusha and Prakriti, energy and the matter coming in contact, matter energized. That's all. Here, where is the position of Ishvara here? But Patanjali, Yoga, they are not putting Yoga. Yoga accept Ishvara. That is called, it is called Sa-Ishvara, Se-Ishvara, Sankhya. Sankhya philosophy, if you add Ishvara in it, it becomes the Yoga philosophy, Patanjali Yoga. Though it is based on Sankhya. Patanjali is based on Sankhya. But they have added the position of Ishvara. And that makes it special. And that's why it is called Sa-Ishvara, Se-Ishvara, Sankhya. Even some schools of Kevala Advaitins, in the absolute sense, total Advaitin, those who don't believe in creation at all, the world is not created. Ajatavad, Kevala Advaita, only non-dual. Those who believe in that, there is no position of God there. One absolute Satchidananda is there, nothing is there. You are seeing this? No, it is not there. It's like Buddhism. It appears like, that's why Ajatavad philosophy and Buddhism, they sometimes come so close. That's why Shankara is sometimes called a pseudo, what you call? Pseudo Buddhist. Gaudapada, especially, but in Shankara also is blamed where he equates like that. Because talking too much of Vedanta, only that is the truth. If that is the truth, where is the question of this? What you are saying is all delusion. Don't talk about delusion. Delusion is wrong seeing. So, because you are seeing wrong, truth does not change. So, it is not there. God only as a phenomenon. Even some schools of Kevala Advaitins, they consider God only as a phenomenal reality. Oh yes, I'm seeing this world. Okay, so long this I see the world, God is there. But there is no God ultimately. And there is no grace of God is necessary there. Very formal place in the scheme of salvation. The Bhagavata, on the other hand, though Advaitic in its philosophy, is uncompromisingly devotional in its outlook and maintains that God is the supreme factor in salvation and that without His grace, a spiritual aspirant standing solely in his own strength will surely be devoured by the alligators of passion in his foolhardy attempt to cross the ocean of life through mere self-effort. You do your best. So your own effort, you think that you want to cross the ocean in your own effort, that is a failure. You need the grace of God. You do your best, and then God's hand will come up. For the Bhagavata, this text, Ishvara is not a lower Brahman, as some Advaitins contend, but the very non-dual principle who in a very real sense has manifested himself as the world of Jivas and Jagat. According to true Vedanta, it is not that Brahman is separate from individual Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. They are all one. You are creating a division, ignorance, but it is one. That means that supreme consciousness appears in three ways. As the ruler, not that somebody has come down from that state and become like this. No, it is the same reality in three ways, playing in the three ways. That's why it's called divine play. Who is playing what? Who is getting burned? Who is burning? Who is burning whom?
Yeah.
Who is God? God is this Jiva. Jiva is God. God is this what? You see, it is the same. Because the one is playing in three roles, as it were. So here, very, very, very philosophically, very strong ground that it is. Bhagavat teaches this uniqueness. There is a place of God's grace. At the same time, this Ishvara is there. Who is Ishvara? He is not little less than Brahman. Normally our idea, Brahman mixed with Maya becomes what you call avatar or Ishvara. No? But when you say plus Maya, then we think that is little less. We say, oh, he has no need, but he imposes on him the idea of I will do good to others. That's why he comes as a human, Krishna, Rama, Buddha. No? But Bhagavad says, no, Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam. The Krishna is no other than Bhagavan himself. That his power is not lost in any way. It is like the power, the police, big police officer or say, it is the example of the called the court in the Supreme Court, Justice and others. They can call a court at any place and they can give their verdict. Not in the only in special cases they can exercise their power. That means their power goes with wherever they go. Not that his power is kept in the High Court or in Supreme Court chamber, but the power goes with the person wherever he goes. So God himself, without losing its energy, has come down. That's why he is called Krishna, he is called Rama, he is called Christ. According to if you take the Bhagavata stand about the God. For the Bhagavata, Ishvara is not a lower Brahman. That's why he has said. You think that Brahman is higher and God is little higher, one step down. No.
But isn't that just Maya is just the power
of him.
Of Brahman.
That's
Brahman's power, no?
And power and the
or potential or whatever, I don't know.
And power means suppose you are singing, you are a singer.
Yeah.
You are not singing now.
Mm.
So when you sing, are you a different person? Power and whose power, they are same.
It's the same, no?
Sometimes you manifest, sometimes you don't. So this is the way. The music and the person who is a musician, they are not too different. Maybe sometimes he sings, maybe sometimes he does not. Similarly, the absolute reality is the same. When he is expressing in some way, that is the Jiva Jagat, Ishvara. And when you say Jiva, individual, Jagat, this world, and who has created Ishvara. So the trio, the Triputi, it is called Triputi. Three divisions appear. But in reality, it is only one. Which is a non-dual principle. Brahman as some Advaitins content, but the very non-dual principle, who is a very real sense, has manifested himself as the world of Jiva and Jagat. The only way of grasping his non-duality is through worship and self-surrender. You do your best, whatever, but surrender, which in turn would elicit his grace. And through this grace alone can the Jiva overcome the samsara and be a participant in the divine love. Okay? So we can end here and today. And what we have to remind Durga?
So we will change now. We are Ustream. We are using Ustream for the streaming purpose of the class.
So you send it to that, then she will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will change it from Ustream to YouTube. channel will be the same.
You just write, this is the change. Previously it was like this. Now to get this talks, you type this so that you will put it.
Channel name will be like it will be the same. The first of
Email me.
Huh.
I will email you the link. Then you can
Okay. Did you sleep well? Huh? Have
Oh
you,
yeah,
have you
last
really
night
sleep?
finally slept well.
After
Yeah, 4 nights of not sleeping.
naturally,
but,
I
yeah,
understand.
Last night was good.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah. So chalo, let us go.
Yeah.
Cholun, let us go for a cup of tea.
মহারাজ আজকে হবে না কিন্তু একদিন একটু কথা বলতে চাইবো
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ নিশ্চয়ই আচ্ছা Thursday, so we are not having any class Thursday. No? We have already announced, no? Yes. So no class on Thursday then?
I know.
Huh?
You told me.
Yeah.
So I mean, but thank you for telling me again.
No, I'm saying not you because you are the only person for Thursday.
sometimes I
Yeah, but suddenly, so that's why normally we have to.
Thank you so much.
Now I can expect you more.
I hope I can come every Tuesday and every Sunday like I was before. The only reason I wasn't coming